Moments come when nature is no longer the gentle and caring mother of all living things. The wind turns into a roaring gale, the streets into rivers, the roofs are blown away, and everything familiar becomes madness. Today we will look at one in a million phenomena in nature. Enjoy watching Eternity Lab. A horrifying sight. It seems as if a gigantic tsunami is about to crash onto the roofs. In reality, it is a tsunami cloud, a rare phenomenon that signals the approach of extreme weather conditions. If you notice something like this, quickly find a safe shelter, for the storm will surely come. A small avalanche swept across the area of Trent Camp Base on Mount Everest. Fortunately, its scale did not harm those who had set up camp there. Visibility had already dropped almost to zero, but the snow continues to fall. Now, finding the road in this white labyrinth becomes a very difficult task for drivers. The only way out is to drive slowly and always be prepared for the unexpected. The wind howled, and the waves smashed against the deck with such fury as if they wanted to break the ship in half in the middle of the ocean. But its sturdiness and nerves of steel rivaled the force of the elements. Regardless of the strength of the waves, the ship remains stable at the waterline and continues its journey forward. Here is the perfect motivational picture. Stay strong in spirit and you will overcome any storm. Faced with the crashing waves, these houses look so tiny and helpless. Admit it, it is scary to watch the sea engulf the streets. What if your own home stood on one of them? A portal to another dimension opened on the Saint-Malo Dam in France. The true cause of this mysterious whirlpool is the collision of two opposing currents, creating a powerful vortex. This phenomenon usually occurs in narrow straits when strong tides arrive. Plants also demonstrate the power of Mother Earth. It is the case when nature quickly takes over abandoned objects. Any empty space becomes filled with life. It is a mystery how this tree survived. It has almost lost connection with its roots. And that hanging tree does not touch the ground at all. Apparently, it feeds spiritually. A heartbreaking sight to see ancient and mighty olive trees being devoured by fire from within. They were deliberately set ablaze for the greater good, because the entire olive tree plantation is threatened by bacteria nicknamed the olive grove killer. In Italy alone, millions of plants can die from the infection. The strain spreads rapidly via insects that carry the virus from one tree to another. If a tree is already infected, it must be destroyed along with the surrounding groups. They say water can achieve its goal by any means. In this case, it was only a matter of time. The current undermined the house, and finally it collapsed into the water in an instant. Yet another demonstration of the force of water, which cannot be resisted. On the highway, a tornado funnel suddenly appeared, causing drivers to panic. Whatever happens, do not exit your vehicle. Try to stay calm and find a safe shelter.
Yeah, okay, I gotta go. Let me call Dash.
Skiing in a snowstorm takes the thrill to a whole new level, making this already adrenaline-filled sport truly extreme. Have you ever been caught in bad weather on a ski slope?
Oh my god! Oh my god! The coming loss!
The storm appeared like an uninvited guest and blew the garden trampoline away. Life is always full of surprises, and we are only learning to be ready to accept them, even if you have to watch humbly as the storm plays in your yard.
Oh my god!
In the middle of a freezing lake, the author of this video was kayaking when he suddenly encountered a terrifying phenomenon. The thick ice cracked into long shards in an instant. This phenomenon is called the ice candle effect. They form when the ice melts vertically, creating thin, needle-like crystals. Ice candles appear in spring when the temperature rises and weakens the bonds within the ice mass. The structure of these needles is very fragile, but they are sharp as broken glass and therefore dangerous. Walking on ice at this time is risky. Even the slightest disturbance can cause the ice to crack into crystals suddenly. In general, if you are not sure of the stability of the surface underfoot, you should not step on it. Just now, a gigantic block of ice cracked and collapsed into the water. Someone was lucky enough to capture this vivid documentary footage with their camera. Catch the big fish and the small fish, or lots and lots of small fish, oh thank you. Fish can end up on the shore for various reasons. For example, dolphins sometimes herd schools of fish into shallow water, and a strong current can suddenly throw the entire school onto the shore with a wave. A stunning performance by humpback whales, but it is just a unique feeding method. They create underwater nets of air bubbles, and these spirals, as they rise, encircle schools of fish, providing the whales with plenty of easy prey in one place. This way, they do not waste time gathering large portions. Moreover, whales perform these complex tasks through a team approach. They are truly efficient hunters. Abundant feeding means survival because their stomach can hold from 500 to 600 kilograms of food. This amazing effect is caused not by a natural phenomenon, but by microorganisms. Thanks to the bioluminescent properties of plankton, we enter a fantastic world. The glowing sea is breathtaking, and the glow is alive. Plankton measures less than 5 millimeters, but these mini lamps light up brightly when something disturbs them. Breaker waves or touch, a great form of psychotherapy, right? It turns out that legends about dragons are pure truth. Only over time the monsters shrank. Once again, Mother Nature amazes us with a stunning spectacle of her incredible power. Watching glaciers is an exciting experience. One only needs to realize that in doing so, we irreversibly lose our untouched reserves of fresh water on the planet. The light shows of Mother Nature will never cease to amaze us. The northern lights are one of the most spectacular of these. Auroras occur in polar regions when electrically charged particles from the sun, the so-called solar wind, collide with the Earth's magnetic field. They interact with oxygen and nitrogen and ignite, creating stunning colors. The sky can be painted green, red, and violet, depending on the type of gas and the altitude of the reaction. An unfinished house could not withstand the flow and collapsed under the onslaught of the flood. We hear the distressed cries of the residents, for building materials cost money. Such a column at sunset could easily resemble a scene from a science fiction film about a mysterious other planet. Powerful gusts of wind suddenly turned a cozy open-air cafe into chaos. Everything happened in a matter of seconds. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Every second of the footage of this breathtaking panorama could become an excellent poster, and we admire the process as nature paints pictures with the power of lightning.
Reporting live from the backyard.
A moment not for the faint of heart. A man was standing next to a house when lightning struck right beside him. He stepped back in panic. Lucky, so lucky.
Holy shit.
Here is another version. A sudden flash of lightning illuminated a house, causing it to ignite instantly. An important note, during a storm, do not stand near windows or electrical appliances. Seeking shelter under a tree during a storm can be a dangerous decision. Tall trees are like natural lightning rods. They are more likely to attract lightning strikes than to protect from them. The rarest and most astonishing phenomenon occurs when the trunk of a tree catches fire from the inside after a lightning strike. Lightning, whose temperature is 5 times higher than the surface of the sun, creates intense pressure inside the trunk. This causes fire to rage within while the tree's exterior remains lush and green. Sometimes for this reason, an entire forest can burn to the ground in an instant. Let us hope that immediately after filming, the author of the video called the fire department. The sky over the city of Davenport in the state of Mississippi turned bright orange due to a large-scale fire that occurred because of a lightning strike. What can one say? It is beautiful, but not optimistic. Do you like fried bananas? Well, lava gives no chance. It devours everything in its path. It is better to move to a safe place, far away from that infernal kitchen. While cars drifted through the black, murky waters of the flood, some felt this day as the end of the world. Yes, it was a heartbreaking scene, but remember, no matter how hard it gets, we can always rise up and start over. A trip on September 16th in China's Lishan province became an unforgettable experience for this driver when everything suddenly went wrong. Or rather, it flew off the cliff. His ability to cope with the situation is impressive. At the moment when his heart was supposed to freeze in fear, he pressed the brake quickly and held the steering wheel steady, perfectly controlling the situation, thus ensuring the safety of all passengers and the vehicle. Of course, minor damage occurred. The windshield and the side mirror were shattered by debris, but we applaud him standing up. This episode is a good reminder that in such terrain, one must be prepared for anything and keep the road under the strictest watch.
Here it comes, watch this.
The trip gave the video authors unforgettable impressions. They witnessed the moment when a rock fragment near Sci-Town suddenly collapsed into the sea, scattering dust and stones all around.
Whoa. Oh my god. Oh wow.
Upon seeing the warning signs on the road, the drivers stopped immediately. Thanks to this, they avoided imminent danger, but it was very close to disaster. A rock avalanche crashed onto the parking lot at a supermarket. Dust and boulders covered the entire area instantly. Fortunately, no one was hurt, including the vehicles. Nature chose a moment that was safe for people.
Don't know, but there's a hole. And all the water's draining into it.
This lake in Oregon is called Lost Lake. Truly, one could not imagine a better name. It is located in a natural park near Mount Jefferson, and every year this body of water undergoes a remarkable transformation. Winter streams fill it into a full-fledged lake, but in spring, almost all the water drains through an opening 2 meters in diameter. In essence, the lake disappears. The cause lies in the unique terrain formed by ancient volcanoes. Under the lake lies a system of conduits known as lava tubes. When water is plentiful, these tubes fill and maintain the water level, but as soon as the streams stop feeding the lake, all the water flows into that natural sink.
Lost Lake, Oregon. About an hour and 15 minutes from Salem, Oregon. Worth the adventure. Great place.
You can see such whirlpools during tidal floods. The wave begins to swirl because waters with different characteristics mix. This is neither ice nor snow, but precipitation in the form of sea salt. The true heat wave, when everything melts, not metaphorically, but like cheese in a skillet. In such weather, it is time to grill steaks without fire. Why do we not harness solar energy to the fullest? Right now, we are seeing a rock collapse on the Kettle River. This is not only an exhilarating moment, but also proof that nature constantly changes the landscape, and it most often happens without warning or hint. A dust devil blew unexpectedly into a garden in a suburb of Japan. Although the owner of the video was stunned by the loss of crops, he still managed to capture the entire event. Such are the nerves of steel of the Japanese.
Get inside! Get inside! Run! 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 Run!
A fierce hurricane suddenly struck Texas. We see people taking refuge in a Walmart supermarket. A security guard screams, "Run! Run!" so that no one remains under flying debris and structures. This scene resembles a real disaster movie. Would you have panicked too? An epic performance illuminating the sky, it is only a reminder for us. Nature always knows how to demonstrate its capabilities at the right moment. Tourists on the island of Cyprus were astonished by a 100-meter waterspout. It formed when warm, humid air moved under a cold, dry air mass. This led to the creation of the vortex. Look how ominously everything darkened around. The road was washed away by flooding. This wake-up call speaks to the importance of building effective drainage systems. We must be prepared to respond to climate change, particularly to sudden and rapid floods. That looks stunning, does it not? This is what awaits you in the Lençóis Maranhenses National Park in Brazil. Quicksands are a mixture of sand, mud, clay, and standing water. This phenomenon usually arises in places with stagnant water or where there is groundwater. The surface may seem solid at first, but as soon as you step on it, it becomes loose and soft. If you get into this sand, you will sink slowly because the water and mud cannot hold you. It might seem frightening, but in reality, you will sink only halfway, and you may even get a slight push back. Without external help, you will need about 100,000 newtons of pulling force just to get 1 foot out of the sticky sand, about the same force needed to lift a medium-sized car. A pleasant tourist trip unexpectedly turns into a dangerous adventure when nature suddenly changes the scenario. Be mentally prepared that vacation may not go according to plan, yet life sometimes brings memorable experiences when we least expect them. Who is this mysterious prankster throwing tennis balls through the window of this house? The culprit of the broken glass was hail in northern Texas. Look at the massive spheres scattered everywhere. Fortunately, all the horses of these farmers were in their stables and remained safe. There are weather conditions so extreme that instead of a car, one might as well take to the streets in a boat.
Oh, attention, attention.
In the Kemesen region of Sweden, a flood in the form of jets of mud suddenly swept over the land. A local resident captured the event on camera near her home. Thankfully, there were no injuries apart from minor damage to cars. A strange phenomenon of mud hail was observed in Nebraska. We see how the flow spreads over vast expanses at high speed. Sudden hail turned the backyard into a shooting range. Everything carefully built by the homeowners came under bombardment. Now we understand why they use iron furniture outdoors. One wonders if those clouds are really planning to send a tornado funnel to the ground, or if they are just joking.
Wow! Whee! Fantastic!
It is incredible how nature has instilled a sense of coordination in birds. When a flock gathers in a tree, you do not expect such an outburst of emotion. Scientists believe that this is how migration begins. Someone must give the signal, and this tree apparently serves as the common gathering point.
Short fit, but a sweet fit. Peace.
This is not a mothball, but a bat party. Before their nightly hunt, they circle in front of their daytime roost, apparently waiting for the stragglers so that they may all depart together on their awe-inspiring Valkyrie flight. Imagine being inside that cave at dusk when they awaken. The owner of this car needs a personalized weather forecast. If in northern countries fishing championships are held in winter on ice, then in Asia a sort of regatta must be conducted in murky water. For some reason, this driver's path relentlessly intersects with that of a tornado, as if they attract each other like magnets. It would have been prudent for the bystander to stop filming in order to avoid a collision. The storm was so intense that in a fraction of a second, it overturned the trailer of a truck. Fortunately, no one was inside, but one can imagine the power of that wind. When the sky brings such a black cloud, it is clear that the impending storm will show no mercy. It is better to seek reliable shelter and postpone all tasks. The most thrilling moment of a storm, if you thought this only existed in films, look at the real situation. Remember, the key to safety is calm. Stay at home, hide securely, and wait for it to pass. A storm struck the small town of Westmoreland, and an ordinary day turned someone's life upside down. But if the dash cam had not recorded it, no one would have believed it was possible. Within 10 seconds to wipe 20 houses off the face of the earth. According to the National Weather Service, this was a tornado of enhanced Fujita scale level 3. Fortunately, thanks to the swift reaction of the local residents, the damage was kept under control. It all ended in the blink of an eye, but it became a clear reminder of nature's indomitable power. Beachgoers panicked. They ran only at the moment when the fierce storm was already battering the Italian resort, turning a peaceful vacation into chaos. How could it have arrived so suddenly that people did not realize it in time? Heavy rain turned the landscapes of Northern California into a scene of chaos when a torrent of mud swept away everything in its path, including tall trees. How could one ever underestimate the power of the elements after that? Multi-ton flows of mud that flooded a residential area in southern Spain. Not just a natural flood, but a warning that the climate is changing due to human activity. It is time to take measures to protect the environment and ourselves. The street becomes a full-flowing river of mud when floodwaters rush along the easiest channel. This situation perfectly illustrates the saying, neither walk nor drive. That is all for today. I only ask that you write comments to support our channel and check out our previous episodes right now. Head over to the channel, there is so much interesting content.